Time for Business. Kate Moody joins us. COVID vaccination programs continue to advance at different speeds across the world. And we're seeing some rare signs of cooperation among pharmaceutical giants.
Yeah, we've just heard that the drug maker Merck is going to start producing the vaccine that was developed by its rival Johnson & Johnson in an effort to boost global supplies. Pharmaceutical giants are facing pressure to meet and in some cases even surpass their production commitments. Many nations are now receiving shipments of vaccines produced in Russia and China, which have seen little uptake in the West. Luke Schrago has more.
From Venezuela to Iraq, supplies of China's Sinopharm serum are now allowing nations to get their vaccine programs off the ground. It comes as the European Union finds itself on the back foot over a perceived failure to get its own citizens the jab at a quicker rate.
The European Union, which I would remind you has 450 million inhabitants and not somewhere around 10 million like Israel. It's not as if you can take one model and simply put it, stick it on the European Union and say this is what you should be doing.
Brussels is now considering emergency approvals for vaccines, something it had previously balked at since it would leave nations themselves liable if anything goes wrong rather than pharmaceutical firms. However, several Eastern European nations have already approved both Russian and Chinese vaccines with such procedures. It's added to a surge of vaccinations in richer countries, even as the world's vaccine-sharing program COVAX scrambles to provide doses to poorer and middle-income nations.
Between now and the end of May, 237 million doses of vaccines will be allocated to 142 participating economies and countries. We still have many challenges to overcome, including the local production barriers related to intellectual property.
That, however, may not be an issue for long. In a rare sign of cooperation between rivals, several drug makers, including Sanofi, Novartis, and now Merck, have all announced they'd help produce vaccines from other companies in an effort to help with a bottleneck in logistics.
German exports to the United Kingdom dropped by 30% in January after Brexit was finalised. Germany's National Statistics Office said trade had been decreasing steadily since 2016. New rules brought in on January 1st now make it more expensive and complicated for European companies to do business with the UK. Economists said it would take time to adjust to the new state of play, forecasting a 10% drop in exports to the UK in the medium term. Let's check in on the day's trading action now. The major European indices ended mostly higher, gains of between about a fifth and just over a third of a percentage point in London, Frankfurt and Paris. Stocks in Milan closed about 0.75 of a percentage point in the red there. Wall Street is trending lower. The Dow Jones falling back from its best day in over 8 months. The Nasdaq down over 1% this hour. Shares of Target are down 5% as the retailer declined to provide an outlook for the year ahead, despite a 21% jump in fourth quarter sales. Well, sales of the video conferencing company Zoom spiked overnight as it reported strong quarterly results. The company, which has flourished during the pandemic, expects business to continue growing this year. Laurent Berstecker has the story.
A strong finish to an incredible year. Zoom continued its astronomical rise, with the company performing above expectations in the fourth quarter of the fiscal year. The group posted revenue of over $880 million and a net profit of $260 million, more than quadrupling results from the same time last year. The earnings report topped both analyst projections and Zoom's own forecast, helping lift its stock price by around 10% on Monday. It came as the platform was showing its first signs of slowing down amid a recent drop in subscriber numbers. Yet Zoom was eager to reassure investors that it could sustain its momentum as it forecast a total growth of 40% in the next 12 months.
As we progress to the world reopening, people have now integrated video conferencing into their lives. In the way they work, the way they learn, the way they socialize. That is not going to change.
A relative unknown before the pandemic, Zoom has since established itself as the go-to video conferencing app, as millions of users flocked to it for jobs, education, and socializing during lockdown. The company is hoping many businesses hold on to their subscriptions even after their offices reopen, but having now accumulated over $4 billion in cash and stock, it will also be looking to expand to other areas.
There you go, Mark. Just a year ago, shall we have a Zoom didn't even mean anything, and now part of our daily lives.
Indeed. Kate, thank you very much indeed. Kate, of course, part of our daily lives, and we're all happy for it. Great to see you. Across the